Welcome to Alliance Review. I've had some time to go over the Hasbro release of the Frozen Horror, compare it with the original, and here are my notes on what I've noticed about it. I will be touching on some of the quests, some of the monster stats, some of the environments, things that they have in there, and why I think it's one of the, well, actually the toughest quests that they put out. So there will be some spoilers in this. I will give you a heads up before I jump into those. This first part is just kind of minor things that I've noticed that they've done. So let's get right into it. So the first thing I will say is that they've pretty much dropped the Barbarian Quest part of it. You know, they don't mention Barbarian Quest anywhere. It's just simply the Frozen Horror. So, you know, just something very minor. You can see it here. Frozen Horror, nothing about the Barbarian Quest book or Barbarian Quest pack. In the original, you had, of course, the original male barbarian. The quest pack introduced a female barbarian miniature. With Hasbro, they've stayed to that, it's true to that, and you know, if you did back them with the heroic tier or the mythic tier, you've already have the female barbarian, so now you're just getting a second mini version of that. Hasbro is putting out cards with these, so this next part seemed a bit unnecessary to me. In the original, they kind of make mention that you can use the female barbarian instead of the barbarian figure. They kind of kept some of that here, you know, references to the barbarian. Since we have cards for them, I don't know if that was really necessary, but again, they're pretty much sticking to the original one. And then with mind points, I thought they kind of missed an opportunity here, since they were giving us extra character sheets, to put a mind point track on there. They do tell us to use that bottom row to track your mind points, the bottom row of the body points there. I think it would have just been nice if they threw mind points on there as well. And then they removed references to this guy, the Cardboard Armory. This was included in the North America version. I know overseas they had equipment cards. Hasbro went with equipment cards this time on a relaunch. So this Cardboard Armory is no more, so they removed references to it and simply just say Armory. I'm going to get into some of the quest here and monster stats and abilities, as well as some of the environment stuff. So if you don't want to see any spoilers, now would be the time to stop watching. Thank you for your time. For those of you who don't mind the spoilers, they're nothing major, but you know, they are going to mention quests and things that happen in the quest, so just be aware. Alright, so moving along to basically quest 6. There was this note in the original one, and you see note A, that last sentence where it mentions that the hero will find previously stolen items from the ice gremlins. They removed that verbiage from the new one. And maybe they just did that to keep it consistent, because you do find the treasury more than once, and you know, in other quests they don't have a reference to you finding anything that had been previously stolen. And plus it also frees up jargon from having to try to remember what those guys steal. And then getting into the creatures and their abilities, this is why, you know, I say this was one of, well, the toughest quest that they put out. You can see here the ice gremlins, they steal items from your heroes, so your heroes are losing items to them. You know, it could be equipment that they need. You know, anytime you're having healing potions stolen from you, your weapon that's not in use being stolen from you. You know, maybe they have longswords and crossbows, and the crossbow gets stolen. Now they're just stuck with their longsword, or vice versa. With the Yeti, you get stuck in one of those hugs and they cause you to start losing body points. So you know, it's kind of tough, because heroes have to gang up on that Yeti and defeat it before it kills the hero who has it stuck in the hug. And if you were playing the solo quest, you were pretty much gone. So they did actually add a note. They didn't add this note to the quest pack, which I think they should have. Said they added this note to A Chilling Journey North, which is their online quest. So on the online quest, they did add this extra note to basically say, well, you know, if you're playing a solo quest, don't have them squeezed to death. Give them a fighting chance. As I do know in the original quest when I played it with the Barbarian hero, that did actually occur. They did run into Yeti. Yeti got him into one of those death hugs, and that was the end of the quest. Because you can't break out of those. It doesn't give you a chance to. There's no other heroes there to save you, so you're done. And then of course you got these two guys. So the war bears, they get 2 attacks. You get to defend against one of them if they're attacking the same hero twice, or they could just attack 2 different characters, in which case both characters get to defend. But if Zargon wants to be mean, he can direct it towards one character, and they only get 1 defense against it. So it could wear you down pretty quick. And then you got the Frozen Horror, who's a tough guy himself, has a spell that he can cast, so he gets 6 and then an additional 6 by Zargon's choice. So he has a full dozen set of spells to cast at the heroes. It could be a handful for him if they allow him to survive too long. Then you got the environment itself. So you got slippery ice. If you slip on that and fall and there's monsters around, you're in trouble, because it says here a fallen hero cannot take any actions or defend against attacks until their next turn. So if you slip, fall, and there's monsters attacking you, especially if there are those war bears, then you're going to take a beating. And then the ice ledge itself is not too terrible, but if you're unlucky with your dice rolls, you will start to slip, take a point of damage, and then fall to your death, as it says. So if you're unlucky enough to roll 2 black shields in a row, you're gone forever. Then you have the ice faults, where if you end your turn there, you got basically a 50% chance of losing a body point. You got the ice slide, where you could also lose a body point and also get separated from the rest of the group, depending on what they decide to do. And here I'm just showing some of the tiles. I showed this during my last video, but here's a bit of a close-up, letting you see the ice slide and some of those ice tiles. Slippery ice, I should call it. And then the bottomless chasm room. This isn't really that dangerous unless you decide to jump it. If you fail that jump, you're gone. You're done for. So keep that in mind. I don't think there's really too many that force you to jump this, but you have to keep that in mind. Now you got the Icy River. Again, one of the things that heroes hated because it slowed them down. Each square counts as 2, so 2 movement points to enter 1 square. And then you got to roll for each square to see if you take any damage. And then again, here are the tiles for that. And there was the living fog room, where monsters would hide. You had a roll to see if you were actually going to hit a monster or just a image of a monster. So you had a chance to basically waste your attack. There's that room. And then again, with the online quest, they did add more information as far as large monsters. I thought this was kind of a funny illustration, because if the Frozen Horror is stepping out into a corridor, is it just that one spot that he occupies? Does he occupy additional? What if there's a character off to the left there that you can't see? Can he still step out? Does he need more room? But I guess they're going to leave that to Zargon. Technically, I guess you don't have to, because he can attack diagonally, so you can hit either character. And then with the online quest, they also introduced 4 new artifacts, basically giving a nod to how tough this is, to give you some extra boost, I guess you can say, to fighting the creatures that you're going to run into in this quest. So the Ice Queen Spear to help against the war bears, although honestly I think is a bit underpowered. Longsword does the same thing for you, and it does 3 attack dice all the time. The Iron Plate Mill, just like regular plate mail, but keeps those ice gremlins from stealing your items. The Spike Shields to protect you against the Yeti's hugs. And then the War Hornet Command just allows you to rehire a mercenary that survived in one quest, to rehire him at 50% of the cost. I will say that they also made the Armband of Ice available. For those of you who don't know, the Armband of Ice is an artifact. It was in the original quest packs, but there was no mention of it in any of the quests. So you had his artifact card, but it was never found in any quest. So as Zargon, you would have to figure out where you wanted to put that. I think I did it in the solo quest where the Barbarian had to defeat the Dread Warrior so that he can end up with the Armband of Ice and give himself a little boost. So they added that to this online quest that they have. So again, if you haven't already downloaded A Chilling Journey North from the Hasbro Pulse site, then I suggest you go over there and download that PDF. It does have this information on there. We'll also give the Barbarian Armband of Ice. I mean, you don't necessarily have to do it. You can just insert that somewhere like I did. And just a heads up, when the Elf quest comes out, there's also an artifact in there that was never mentioned in any of the quests, so kind of repeats itself. And there's the artifact that was missing. Well, not missing, was there, but it was never in any quest. So they corrected that. It's in one of the quests now, but it's the online quest. And again, you can just choose to insert it anywhere you want. There's nothing to stop you from doing that. So there you have it. Those are the things that I've noticed. Hope you enjoy playing, and see you all again soon. Enjoy. Bye-bye.